For the first time since 2014, an Andy Reid-led Kansas City Chiefs team is starting the season 0-2. The first week, the defense did not show up and got absolutely routed in Brazil. And then in week two, the defense decided to show up and play really well against the Eagles offense, and the offense was still not able to get the job done. It was a Travis Kelce drop that led to an interception where it felt like the momentum of the game completely shifted, and the Chiefs were never able to recover after that. With the Chiefs' slow start and their very close wins last season, and this offense basically not looking like itself since 2022. What should we expect going forward? Is this the new version of the Chiefs? And will they even make the playoffs this year? Let's break it all down here on Blitz Sports Media. What's going on, everybody? I am Blitz Link, and today we are talking about the Kansas City Chiefs and whether or not the offensive ineptitude of this team is going to continue throughout the 2025 season. Over the last 3 seasons since Tyreek Hill has been traded, the only strong one of the offense was in 2022, where Patrick Mahomes won the MVP and basically broke the total yard record in NFL history that season. Since that point, it's been makeshift wide receiver rooms, it's been a rotating offensive line, and a running game that has never continued, explosiveness or success. And that's been a similar trend throughout the Mahomes era in Kansas City. In 2025, it feels like it's almost too much to overcome, with the defense struggling in week one, a tough schedule this year, and the opening start of 0-2. The Chiefs are more vulnerable than ever, and they're starting to lose their mystique. Let's break it all down here. We're going to dive into the film room and show you guys kind of what this Kansas City Chiefs offense is looking like here in 2025. After a gain of 7 to open up the game, the Chiefs are going to get themselves into a man coverage look on the backside here with the safety over the top. And then they're going to get a little bit of a cover 2 look here. Ultimately, kind of what they wanted in this situation, but the rhythm of the offense is just not working at the start of games. You're going to watch Patrick Mahomes get exactly what he wants, a high-to-low read, and just miss a wide-open Noah Gray for a big-time game to open up this after their defense got a big-time stop at this point. You're going to watch right here. The reads aren't the problem in this Chiefs offense. That's honestly probably one thing Patrick Mahomes is still doing at an elite level, if not better, is that he's reading defenses very good, and he still is able to read both these guys, taking Kelce on this out route, and Mahomes is going to just try to get this ball over these defenders, and there's about a 10-yard space between the safety right now with Noah Gray. Mahomes is just not able to get it right to Noah Gray in the spot he needs, and an overthrow and completion missed opportunity leads to a 3-and-out to open up the game. 3rd down and 1 here, and typically the Chiefs, they'll run a lot of crossing routes here to break man coverage. As you can see, the Eagles are going to be running here. And, with Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice, it makes it a little bit easier to convert on these plays. But as you can see here, everything's bottled up. And it's basically Patrick Mahomes. You got to do it with your legs in order to get a first down, which is not ideal for what the Chiefs have had to rely on years past. And you can kind of see the concept here of the cross there. You got vertical here, you have vertical here, clearing the space out, and then you have the running back there, but Zach Bond is sitting right here to cover this. Mahomes does a really good job of finding a way to get it done with his legs, but the type of play calling like this is becoming predictable, especially with the offensive weapons the Chiefs have, and these crossing routes are being targeted by linebackers across the middle, and defenses are playing tighter man coverage in order to prevent it from happening. This play right here is a great example of the current state of the Kansas City Chiefs run game. Just not very good looks here, and they don't have a perimeter run game at all. It's basically run up the middle, let's get 3 yards behind our struggling offensive line, and it's not working very well. And this is kind of a play that I thought was a good way of pointing out what's going on with this team. You see, right now you have pulling guards working this way. Trey Smith is on the ground right there. You have Josh Simmons that loses outside. Isaiah Pacheco is not fast enough to beat that. And then you have safeties flying downhill to make a play right here. The combination of not having an explosive running back and an offensive line that isn't overwhelming in terms of run blocking right now is you're constantly going to have plays that either go for a loss of yards on the outside or on the interior, get stuck at 3 yards because they don't have an explosive playmaker back there, and the offensive line is not extremely overpowering. Similar type run concept here. You're going to get a pull lead concept with the Chiefs running back working laterally this way, and they are just unable to get anything going because Jalen Carter beats Josh Simmons in there, right? You have an outside defender getting outside leverage, and basically Isaiah Pacheco has to follow Creed, but is unable to do that due to Jalen Carter absolutely beating up Josh Simmons on the defensive line. It's not just one guy that's struggling. Creed Humphrey struggling. You have Kingsley struggling in his first year. Jawan Taylor, we're not even going to talk about him, but he's been really bad in terms of run blocking this year overall. But it is everybody, and without an explosive playmaker in the backfield to get to that outside edge quicker, this is the type of results you're going to get. One of the plays that I really liked in the early part of this game felt like a little bit of the old Chiefs right here, as Mahomes is anticipating Travis Kelce being wide open, and Kelce just sits in the perfect spot in a zone coverage. A pretty soft look here from the Eagles that has Zach Bond filling that underneath route that the Chiefs have taken so often. Linebacker, I'm pretty sure this Jahad Campbell is stuck right there, and Kelce just sits between him and DeJean, getting a big-time gain that's over 10 air yards. And yes, it was a perfect throw, perfect catch. The offensive line held up just enough to allow Mahomes to get that ball, and that's exactly kind of where the Chiefs need to make that adjustment. Is a lot of teams are seeing these underneath vertical routes, and the linebackers are starting to sit here and here versus the openings starting to come in this middle intermediate part of the field, which I think the Chiefs can do a better job of taking advantage of, just like Mahomes and Kelce did on this play right here. I think the sneaky addition of Tyquan Thornton has definitely added an element to this offense for sure, but Mahomes' deep ball is still very inconsistent right now, and it's causing big plays like this where Thornton has a step on a defender right here, at least one right there, and Mahomes is not able to put the ball in a perfect spot to get him a big-time gain and a chunk gain in order to catch a first down here. Then attempt number 2 is about as easy as it gets because the defender gets tripped up, and then he is overthrown on this play right here despite being wide open in this situation. 0 for 2 on deep balls, and this would give the Chiefs defense 2 different chances to get a stop instead of just one in the fourth quarter. Another third down play that's just not easy and not just open at this point for the Chiefs. They're going to get a cover 2 look on this side where this defender right here knows Travis Kelce is going here. You're going to leave this guy there. Despite this defender here, you're going to get a low crossing in route, a deeper route followed by that with the 2 linebackers there. Then it's going to be up to Mahomes' legs if none of that is open, or you have Kareem Hunt sneaking out that way. But basically what happens is the Chiefs get put in a point where the Eagles play good defense. Mahomes checks out of that read, sees that immediately, does not think there's anything over the middle, sees Kareem Hunt as one-on-one coverage, but like I mentioned before, the Chiefs backs don't have any sort of explosiveness or, breaking tackle ability at this point. One-on-one with Cooper DeJean, he makes a great play, and Kareem Hunt is unable to get a first down. That's just the lack of explosiveness and lack of ease of this Chiefs offense right now. This is the last bad play I'll show from the Eagles game, and it's just more of an execution thing at this point for this team. They have a lot of veterans. They have a lot of guys that have been in big moments, but just seems like all of them are, not performing at their best level and not coming up when they need them most in the big moments, and this one's a perfect example. On the goal line, to go up 17-13 in the fourth quarter, the defense is absolutely balling out in this game. Travis Kelce, Hall of Fame tight end, runs a good route. Patrick Mahomes sees he's going to be open. Travis Kelce does not anticipate the ball that quick, just hands it to the defender, and the momentum of the game completely shifted from that point on. It's just different guys in the first 2 weeks that are not coming up in these moments that they typically come up in, and it's resulted in an 0-2 start. So where were the Chiefs good on Sunday? Well, there was a few things that I think are still pretty good with this offense. Mahomes' decision-making is still very good, and plays like this where he recognizes the coverage already like this, can able to find his receiver right on the edge, Tyquan Thornton out there, for 10-yard chunk gains like this. When the Chiefs can make plays like this, that you just have to take them where they come, and they're still really good at doing that on Sunday. Then when plays break down, you still have Patrick Mahomes' legs that were probably the biggest factor in keeping the Chiefs in this game, ultimately keeping them, ahead of the sticks, whether it was 2nd and 10, third and 5. He was able to convert with his legs and keep this offense moving. He's currently their leading rusher this season, which is insane to think about, but this is kind of what is needed in this offense right now. In a 2nd and 10 situation, he could get it out to Pacheco here. One-on-one, I don't know, right now if they have confidence in winning one-on-one battles with their positional guys, but that is kind of where we're at, and it's just Mahomes scrambling is keeping this offense moving, whether or not it is third or first down. Final one I want to showcase is the deep ball that actually hit, and kind of goes to show you what this Chiefs offense could look like when things actually work for them. It's Mahomes dropping back 15 steps and absolutely launching a beautiful ball towards the end zone, and Tyquan Thornton adding a different element of speed across the middle And despite Juwan Taylor rallying pressure, they still find a way to get in the game despite being down 10 points, not having their top two receivers. Like, plays like this just make you think it's in there, they have it, but it's about showing it more consistently and doing it like they did from 2022 and earlier to start the Mahomes era instead of it coming down 10 points in the fourth quarter and missing your top two guys. I want to take everybody to the past in the end of this video, and I want the Chiefs to bring back this type of element to their offense that we haven't seen since 2022 be played at a high level, and it's the RPO game that it worked so well for this offense back in the day and had big-time explosive plays. And I'm going to show you why this can work well for this current version of the Chiefs team with a lack of playmakers at the receiving position. So an RPO is a run-pass option. You have the point of mesh right there. You have defense flowing here. Tremaine Edmonds is supposed to be inside of this zone right here, but it's very tough because he has to read the quarterback and the running back and make a play on the run as well. What you're going to have on the backside, though, is you're going to have the receivers running routes right here, right? Either of these guys can make a play on the football, but RPOs allow an offense to get spacing and create holes within defenses that Patrick Mahomes already excels at. At this point right here, Mahomes knows he's in a great spot, fires it across the middle of the field with confidence, and it's plays like this that get an offense in rhythm to feel comfortable to start games, and the Chiefs used to do it all the time. They've gotten away from it, and we haven't seen as much production to start games and good positive rhythm throughout the game. Then finally, where is this type of push from the offensive line that we haven't seen in quite some time? They're pushing guys 4 yards down the field. Pacheco is able to find a hole, make a few guys miss, not go down. We haven't seen this from this type of running game in quite some time, and it's made the Chiefs one-dimensional in the passing game, which is not a good sign, especially with the team without two of their top receivers. If they can establish a run, they're going to keep a defense on their heels, and it makes everything else that much easier for the offense to work within rhythm. The film room tells us a lot. The air yards aren't there for the Kansas City Chiefs anymore. The running game isn't there for them anymore, and the RPOs are just gone in this offense. You kind of take a look at what we're looking like here. This was the pass chart of Patrick Mahomes this week, and this is a similar pass chart to what we see for him, over the past few seasons. His completion versus expected is close to negative 12%. A lot of throws are on the line of scrimmage, and you see a lot of open white dots on this chart deep, and the deep accuracy has not been the same since the receiving group has faltered and the offensive line has faltered. Mahomes has lost his confidence on throws down the field with the current weapons available at his disposal. Now, you add stuff in here like Matt Nagy joining this offense here in 2023, and a lot of people want to scapegoat Matt Nagy, but basically to this point, it is Andy Reid who is running the show, and it's been Andy Reid throughout this time. I do think losing guys like Eric Bieniemy, Mike Kafka throughout this period of the last few seasons has hurt this offense in terms of an accountability and a former quarterback just being there and helping in Mahomes' development. We all know Kafka is a pretty good offensive coach, and having those guys in the building definitely help out. So I think those losses hurt, but I think blaming Nagy for a lot of this is a little bit unwarranted. The offensive line has been up and down. The receiving group has never been healthy over the last few seasons, or has just been a bad revolving door of players and a lot of defensive capital invested on the draft. So the Chiefs are reeling, and I really do think the struggles are more of a issue that is not like something that's going to go away. It's something that's just, this is what this Chiefs team is, and what they need to fix is the ground game in order to solve this. Through 2 games so far, Isaiah Pacheco, 15 carries for 47 yards. Kareem Hunt, 13 carries for 47 yards. Patrick Mahomes has carried the team in the ground for 123 rushing yards over the last 2 games. If you're in the NFL and you can't run the ball, your offense is not going to work at an elite level. This running offensive scheme needs to improve. Andy Reid needs to find a way to put his linemen in a good position to be successful, because Pacheco and Hunt aren't necessarily some of the more talented running backs in the NFL. So they need a little bit more help in terms of getting it going. And whether that's the offensive line stepping up and being better where they've struggled, which is blocking so far in the run game, or it's, Andy Reid doing a better job of scheming up the run game. That'll help open some stuff up down the field for this Kansas City Chiefs team as well. But I think ultimately, they're going to have to survive this 6-game stretch. And I think at the end of the day, they'll wind up being okay. 12-5 seems like a realistic expectation for this team. The defense was much better in week 2. They basically dominated the Eagles for a majority of this game, and they'll probably be better throughout the rest of the season. I think they were surprised with the Chargers game plan in week 1, but on the offensive side of the ball, for the next 4 weeks, they are going to have to survive without Rashee Rice. Hopefully, they get Xavier Worthy back this week. That'll definitely change some stuff. But once they get this offense healthy, Josh Simmons looks legit at left tackle, allowed 0 pressures against the Eagles in week 2. If they pair that, an improved running game, a healthy wide receiver core, this Chiefs offense could hit its stride down the stretch. We will see if it happens, but they need to improve some stuff before they get that to that point. Let me know down in the comment section below what you think, if this Kansas City Chiefs team will be able to figure it out, or will this be the first year that the Chiefs don't make the AFC Championship game under Patrick Mahomes? Make sure you hit that subscribe button for more Blitz Sports Media content, and I will catch you guys next time.